Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Bowl TV. This is Matt Cannizzaro on the road here at the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, Nevada. We're at the 2015 USBC Women's Championships today, and we're here to watch USBC Hall of Famer Tish Johnson try to win her first Women's Championships title. Sounds hard to believe with all that she has accomplished, but still at it here and looking to reach that milestone here in 2015. So thanks for being here. We're behind lanes 41 and 42 at the NBS. Also on this pair of lanes, two-time Women's Championships doubles titleist Kalina Henning-Shannon. And you'll see her up on lane 42 here in just a minute. We'll have 6 games today, 3 games of doubles followed by 3 games of singles. Stay in the same pair of lanes. And the format here at the Women's Championships, 6 on a pair. And the rest of the bowlers on the featured pair today, Dana Borgman from Mill Creek, Washington, and her partner Julie Harrison from Everett, Washington. And they were very surprised to find out today that they were going to be featured live on Bowl TV, as the other 4 players are teammates. They bowled team yesterday. Melanie McAllister, Melissa Riccardi, and of course, Kalina and Tish. Their companion team typically includes Lindsay Boomershine and Alicia Current. They had to reschedule, so Tish and her crew made the trip anyway, and Lindsay and Alicia will be here in a couple of weeks. But that opened up the opportunity for Dana and Julie to come on today and let the folks back home in Washington know. So they were pretty excited, not only, of course, to be on Bowl TV, but the chance to bowl with a Hall of Famer and a 2-time titleist here. So we do appreciate everybody joining us here, and hopefully we'll have an entertaining broadcast. Looks like we have some visitors into the NBS today, a tour group coming to check out the Taj Mahal of 10 pins. So always cool to show off this fine facility that is ever changing. Celebrating 20 years this year, opened up in 1995 and undergoing $15 million in renovations. And the latest was the lanes, all brand new lanes here for the 2015 Women's Championships. We'll have the rundown of the leaderboards here in just a minute as we get settled in. Here's a look at Tish on lane 41. And she started with a strike, and now 4-6-10 split. All right, so a nice little crowd joining us here on this Saturday afternoon. We do appreciate it. Tell your friends. We are here to showcase the world's largest participatory sporting event for women. And the WC ending a 4-year run here in Reno, 2 years at the National Bowling Stadium, and 2 years at a custom venue across town at the Reno Sparks Convention Center. And next year, a new location on the schedule as the South Point Bowling Plaza in Las Vegas has been completed and is ready to welcome the Women's Championships and the USBC Mixed in 2016. So a lot of anticipation about that venue. And of course the new location. This year at the Women's Championships, 4 divisions in team competition, 6 average base divisions for doubles and singles. As you might be able to see up on the scoreboard to the left of the players' names, either a 1 or a 2. The 1 indicates Division 1, which is the Diamond Division. That is the highest division here based on average. For individual players, average 190 and above. For doubles, 380 and above. And then the number 2, Division 2, the Ruby Division. And for doubles, 350 to 379. And for individuals, 175 to 189. So doubles partners today, Borgman and Harrison from Washington, Melissa Riccardi and Kalina Shannon, and Melanie McAllister and Tish Johnson. Looking at the Division 1 or Diamond double standings. Top of the leaderboard, a couple of familiar names. You saw it unfold here on Bowl TV. Aaron Smith was in Reno. It is Tennille Milligan and Linda Barnes. Linda, USBC Hall of Famer. They were part of the Diamond team winning Believe in a Cure in 2014. And they came in and got things done in doubles, shot 14.04 to jump into the top spot. Second place, Karen Evans and Liz Johnson, 13.77. And in third place, Diana Zavilova and Danielle McEwen, 13.56. So to make the top 10 here in Diamond doubles, 12.71. And all competition this year is scratch. Women's Championships experimented with handicap from 2010 and went to the new format here. A few more divisions and all scratch competition. In Division 2 doubles, or Ruby doubles, number on top, 1139. Kendra Walls and Kelsey Farmer from Morris, Illinois, 1139. And to make the top 8 here, there's a 3-way tie for 8th place, 1100. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that as well. So we are rolling here through game number 1, just about the halfway point. So tell all your friends before it's too late. Always a pleasure to watch Tish Johnson bowl. And Aaron Smith holding things down in El Paso right now, tuning in to check out the action from his first love, the USBC Women's Championships. There's Melissa Riccardi up on the left lane. Her husband Sean, a top contender from New Jersey, now living in Florida. He's a Bowler's Journal champion at the Bowler's Journal Championships presented by USBC, a side event that is part of the Open Championships. So he's been here coaching the wife a little bit, giving her some advice. This is her first USBC Women's Championships appearance, so already a little nervous. Throw in some Bowl TV. And a heck of a debut. But speaking of debuts, Kalina Shannon made hers back in 2013, and the former standout and national champion at the University of Nebraska made her debut on Bowl TV as well. And we were actually there to showcase Lindsey Boomerstein and Alicia Current, the defending doubles champs. And Kalina and Christy Leong stole the show. And they took home the scratch and diamond doubles titles with 1439 and 1481. And just like that, 2 titles here at the WC. And as you can see next to Kalina's name, a little icon between her name and her hometown of Lincoln, Nebraska. I believe it is a gem or a trophy of some sort, indicating, of course, that she's a champion here at the Women's Championships. So a very cool thing for her to win in her first shot at it. And she actually improved her performance in 2014. Score-wise, did not take home another title though. Looking to do that here at the NBS in 2015. So if you happen to be in the Reno area coming to check out the Women's Championships, or perhaps to bowl in the USBC mix, make sure to stop by the Media Relations office and say hello to Michelle Banks and Jessica Gilgore. They are running the show here as we oversee them from a distance in El Paso. So doing a great job with the daily coverage here. Jessica's a little shy, so she may not be coming on to chat at all today. But in case anything exciting happens, she'll be here to tell the world about it. And taking a look at yesterday's scores, our Hall of Famer Tish Johnson led Team Own It. She had games of 209, 241, and 233 for a 683 series. So we'll definitely keep an eye on her for all events. Melanie McAllister added a 546 set. Helena Shannon, 656, 208, 181, 267 finish. And Melissa Riccardi had a 485. They had a 2370 total. And that was in the Diamond Team event. So just outside of the top 10 in the Diamond Team standings. Believe in a Cure back on top. The defending champs, 26-34. Again, remember, here at the Women's Championships, just 4-player teams. And of course, that makes things a little bit easier for pairing up for doubles and singles. But 26-34, and to make the top 10, 24-04. So 2370, just outside the number. We did just feature Tish on Bowl TV at the USBC Senior Queens in Green Bay earlier in May. And she again was the #1 seed heading into the stepladder finals. Came up a little bit short, fell to defending champ Robin Romeo. And Tish, second place at the Senior Queens for the 3rd consecutive year. So while she does have 25 professional titles, including 1 major, the US Open, back in 1992, she has not been able to capture that coveted tiara at the regular Queens or the Senior Queens. So 3 runner-up finishes to go along with a 4th place effort in her debut. Riccardi up, looking for her first strike still here in doubles, and leaves the baby split there, the 310. Game 1 rolling along. This is the noon doubles and singles squad. All right, so game one cruising along here, and now we are joined by the one and the only Jessica Gilgore with no E.
With no E, you always throw that in.
She is the media lady here on the weekends at the 2015 Women's Championships, and has worked alongside us at the Open Championships in our last few years here in Reno. So Jessica, welcome to your live stream debut.
Oh, this is the most awkward thing ever.
Well,
the fact you have me on here is probably the scariest thing of my week.
It is the perfect opportunity for you to tell us all about the cool things you've seen here at the 2015 event. Of course, now you get the opportunity to watch Hall of Famer Tish Johnson, and I know there's left-handers far and wide tuning in right now to get an idea of how to play the lanes here in Reno in 2015. But you've been here since the beginning. And
on occasion, I do my weekends for you guys. Somebody's got to cover you guys. You guys can't do everything, right?
So definitely some highlights. The event kicked off on April 10th, and it's already June almost. Unbelievable. Hard to imagine 82 days of competition just flying by.
I look at it, I go, I can't believe we're almost done. It's like it just started. What happened to everything? It's going so fast, so quick. I've seen everybody come in, lead changes, score changes. I am at a loss to everything I've seen.
Well, we've had a few 50-year ladies come through. Always nice to see them come down center aisle and celebrate 5 decades of competition at this great event, of course, which goes back to 1916. So we're getting close to the 100th anniversary, and some of those ladies have bowled more than half of the women's championships.
Hopefully I'll be here to see 100 myself with you guys. I can't complain working for you and working with Erin, but sorry, Erin, I am much prettier of a companion in this booth than you are. Sorry. I have to throw that out there because I love you both dearly.
Well, thank you. Thanks for your dedication, and perhaps we'll march you down center aisle for your 50th year in the media relations department.
I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully I'm here that long. I still have a lot to learn from you guys.
Well, every day a learning experience. That's something that we learned not too many years ago. We love the AP style book, and anytime there's a chance to learn or teach something, we'll certainly take advantage of that.
I'm learning something here right now.
The new on-air talent here at Bowl TV. Thanks for tuning in. Again, this is Matt Canizaro alongside Jessica Gilgore, and we're live at the National Bowling Stadium. Tish Johnson plagued by splits here in game one of doubles. So a nice strike there on lane 42. The venue definitely looks a whole lot different this year compared to the last 2 years when we were here for the Open Championships. Just a little different setup. Some very cool Hall of Fame memorabilia on the concourse here. And one of my favorite things when you walk past, we have what was the participation wall in 13 and 14. Now is a giant map of the United States where the ladies can walk by and put a pin in their hometowns.
It's actually my favorite wall. I like it a lot. I love seeing everybody, especially when they bring their kids and the kids put the pin on the wall for them. They get really excited trying to find out where exactly they're at. It's interesting to watch.
Well, bowlers come from all 50 states and several foreign countries to compete in our championship tournaments, and Reno has been a great home, a great host city for this event and the brand new USBC mixed. So a lot of husbands and friends and brothers coming in this year as well. We had some mixed teams on the lanes last night during the team event at 4 p.m. And then doubles and singles competition for the mix taking place downstairs on the showcase lane. So again, we talked about the NBS, opened in 1995 and undergoing $15 million in renovations to update things. One of the very first things they did was change the downstairs a little bit and added the showcase lanes, 10 lanes, and a nice bar area. And then on the other side of the ground floor, a satellite museum for the International Bowling Museum and Hall of Fame. So a lot of cool stuff down there, and always changing what they have there. So you can check out a little bit of bowling history here at the NBS, and then came upstairs and redid the whole squad room for last year's event, and now brand new lanes 1 through 78. So the ladies getting a fresh surface here in 2015, and much more to come. I think the outside of the building got a new facade, a new paint job.
Yep, they started that, I think sometime after last year's Open. They started either towards the end or right at the end. Lightened up the color a little bit, gave it a sandy look instead of a maroon look. So
getting things clean and fresh, and then I know the concourse will get a new look in the near future as well. The stadium seating perhaps getting it renovated, so a lot on the blueprints for the coming years, and $15 million could go a long way. 20 years of the Taj Mahal of 10 pins. Well, we do appreciate everybody giving us part of your Saturday afternoon. I know just outside the NBS here, some excitement in the streets, another of the many festivals that go on in Reno. Some hot rods and fancy cars outside, and food and drinks, and just a little bit of everything, I think.
I think the Reno Tahoe Odyssey runners are going to be coming through later this afternoon also, after doing their trek around the lake. I think they end up at the park downtown.
Well, I would say the downtown area has gotten a bit of a new look in recent years with the River Walk. Some great restaurants and shops and different things to see just a few blocks away from the stadium. Of course, the Reno Aces right across the street. The baseball stadium. Ran into a group of ladies yesterday just before they headed over to watch the Aces game, as a matter of fact. So still plenty to see and do in the downtown area, very convenient. I did my own walk from the hotel yesterday with a couple of bowling balls and all the live stream gear, and it doesn't get much more convenient. Took the shuttle right to the hotel. The hotel, short walk away. Enjoyed a few local establishments and watched some bowling. So I could not think of a better way to spend a weekend away.
Sounds like a typical Matt weekend in Reno.
One of my 3 favorite host cities, and I think Aaron Smith would agree. Just so much going on, and always bowlers around, and of course that's kind of the idea, but very noticeable to the employees, and they are always hospitable and excited to talk bowling, see a USBC logo, and just appreciate bowling coming this way. But right now, game 1 coming to an end here in doubles. Dana Borgman 151, Melissa Riccardi 154, Melanie McAllister 167, Julie Harrison 189, Kalina Henning Shannon 209, and now Tish is going to wrap things up here for this featured pair. But again, Borgman and Harrison, surprised to see the camera set up behind their lanes. Very excited to tell the folks back home that they would be live on Bowl TV. And of course, anytime you get to hang out with a Hall of Famer, it's kind of like a Pro-Am and the Women's Championships at the same time. And no matter how you bowl, it'll probably make for a cool story when you get home.
Heck, even I'm starstruck sitting back here.
I'll tell you, pretty much every day you get a little bit starstruck. We talk about it often with all the folks we get to meet. Just last week I was telling the story that they came to the office to let me know that a couple of gentlemen wanted to talk to me out at the counter. Okay, I'll bite. I'll go out there and see what's going on. A lot of times there's questions or feedback or something. It was Hall of Famers Glenn Allison and Jimmy Schroeder. Like, how cool is that? These guys are obviously 6-decade participants at the Open Championships. They're 100,000 pin club members. They're world famous for all of their performances and exhibitions and all the things they did over the years for the sport of bowling, and they're looking for me. And I would say days like that happen probably 2 or 3 times a week. And someday, if I can remember all these things, as I advance in age, they get a little bit blurry. But
well, that's what social media is for, though. It's a great record collector. You'll go back and look at it later.
It is instant gratification. We see that a lot with our coverage at these events, where in the old days somebody would shoot 300 and we would chronicle that on bowl.com. Perhaps it would appear the next day, but now we can get a video of that 300 game and post it to social media while walking back to the office to get the paperwork. So always trying to stay on the cutting edge of technology. And while I feel that technology might be my worst enemy at times, it's what we do. And give the bowlers what they want. We can get 20,000 views on 2 frames of somebody taking the lead in a video, and then write a story and do an interview and all that good stuff for hours and hours, and 800 people will look at it. So the world has changed a little bit, and we're okay with that, and that's why we're here right now on Bowl TV, showcasing the women's championships for the world to see, and of course this fine facility. But going back to our conversation about being starstruck, Jessica, you've been around here long enough. Besides being able to meet and hang out with me and Aaron, you've definitely had a chance to talk to and interview some terrific bowlers and at both events. But any really stand out for you as a longtime bowling fan?
I think it would have to be last year, having conversation with Linda Barnes and Shannon O'Keefe and Tennille Milligan. I had to just chit chat with them because I sit in your office and people come in all the time looking for you or Aaron and have no idea who I am. And they were just super sweet, super cool. You know, I was like, I try not to be completely starstruck because I still have my job to do, and they're just bowlers like everybody else. They're just really good at it. And having conversation with them and talk with them, they were like, you know, helped them with their equipment. They gave me a big hug afterwards, and I think I walked back about 15 shades of red going, did that really just happen?
Certainly understand those sentiments, and it happens so often, and even when they come back year after year. And the fact that sometimes the cell phone will ring, it actually happened 2 days ago. Cell phone starts ringing, and it's Leanne Holstenberg. Like, how cool is that? That not only do I have these famous bowlers' phone numbers anyway, because it's my job but the fact that they are friends makes it even better. That we've been able to develop over the years those friendships, and it just makes it that much better. And you mentioned Linda and Tennille. Well, they are our Diamond doubles leaders here in 2015, and they put on quite a performance, coming in as the defending team champions. Believe in a Cure. They regained the top spot in the team event, so looking to make it back-to-back wins there. And then Tennille went on a tear. Her and Linda took the doubles lead, shooting 1,400.
And then Tennille, I think, also has Diamond all events right now too, keeping it in the team from last year where Linda took over all events, and now Tennille has it this year, so they're keeping a good run for their team.
Well, and that's exactly what we saw in 2013 with Kalina and Christy Leung. We came in as part of the group that included the 2012 doubles champs, Lindsey Boomershine and Alicia Current. And while Lindsey and Alicia were not able to get it done again, Kalina and Christy did so and took home the scratch and diamond doubles titles. So always cool to kind of hand it off like that. We see that occasionally at the Open Championships. We saw that this year with Anthony Lacasse, the defending all events champion. Wanted to share that feeling with his teammates once again, as they did in 2013, and they are the team all events leaders. So a nice mix there, and keeping it in the family, so to speak there. Tennille leading all events with 2169. That is a sizable number, and it's going to be a lot of hard work for somebody to get there before this event concludes on June 30th. So still a lot of great bowlers headed this way during the month of June. We mentioned Lindsey Boomershine and Alicia Current. They're coming in around the 19th and 20th. And then the 2012 Diamond Team Champion, Some Strike It Hot from Albuquerque, New Mexico, will be here at the end of the month. So a lot of other great names. So keep an eye on bowl.com and, of course, on our social media We have the official Open and Women's Championships Facebook page. A lot of great tidbits shared there. Oftentimes the news that's not quite news will end up there. 299 games, even 300 games. A lot of good videos.
It's how I keep up with everything when I'm not in the building or in El Paso with you guys. I gotta know what's going on.
So between Facebook and Twitter, of course, the quick hitters there, say it in 140 characters, and you can find that at USBC, or at USBC Matt, or at USBC Aaron, if you want to hear some of the behind-the-scenes goodies and some of our personal successes and such.
Or your tips about traveling in El Paso, or what to eat, what to see. I know you and Aaron are big foodies, so I know to go to you guys for the good tips.
Well, we try to offer some sort of value for our service here. It may not be in bowling talent, or I would like to think that we are pretty up to speed on the history of the Open and Women's Championships, but we also get to spend many, many weeks in the host cities and try to offer whatever tips we can. So occasionally get a Facebook message or a tweet asking, hey, we're in El Paso, we're in the building, we just want to say hi, but really we just want to ask you where to go to dinner. And that's okay, because I like to go to dinner, so feel free to extend an invitation as well. But with as much time as we spent here in Reno, definitely a lot of good tips and a lot of ideas. I believe something we discovered in 2014 here they call Midtown. It has a name. Like, it used to just be like this place over there by, whatever, and it's actually called the Midtown, and so Reno really developing and changing. And
it's actually gotten bigger. I know I moved down in the Midtown area just after the 2010 Open, and it wasn't even called Midtown, and now it's a big booming district of itself. It's impressive how much it's grown in the last 4 years.
Well, a revitalization of sorts, and again, especially in the downtown area, old casinos becoming new again, whether they are casinos or other facilities, restaurants, apartment buildings, baseball stadiums, the Freight House District right behind the National Bowling Stadium here. Saw yesterday what used to be the bus station between the hotels and the National Bowling Stadium now. A lot of artwork and things there, so a good way to showcase perhaps some local talent.
Yeah, I know they put artwork even when they put up new electrical boxes. They paint the electrical boxes with different things to showcase those local artists in the way. And I know at the end of this tournament, I know our town starts where they do all the big artsy stuff and have local artists coming in and around the area. So as soon as all the bowlers have their fun, it'll be the artists to have theirs.
Definitely nice to see that. Again, we spend a lot of time here, and a lot of bowlers come through, and a lot of bowler dollars even being put to good use, making Reno really stand out. So great to see that. We saw that in El Paso as well. Just to tie the two events together again, of course, the Open Championships happening in the Sun City, which hosted the Women's Championships back in 2010. And once the Women's Championships departed, downtown El Paso got a little bit revitalized, and they added their own baseball stadium and some new restaurants and museums, and really a lot of changes there. So even from just a couple of years, the chance to go back with the Open Championships now and see all of those changes. And you'll see that here in Reno. Always something new to see and do. No shortage. You can get out there and do some shopping and golf and just tons of different things besides just bowling, but also a multitude of events happening all at once this year. It's all about the Women's Championships only, and of course the brand new USBC Mixed. A great event with the same average base divisions as the Women's Championships, but a chance for husbands and friends and brothers to come along for the ride and actually get to bowl while they're here instead of just watch. 4-player teams, 2 men, 2 women, and then mixed doubles, 1 man, 1 woman. Just a great opportunity, a stepping stone of sorts for tournament players. Maybe just want to get your feet wet, as they say, get a taste of the national stage. A little bit more laid back, less pressure than the Open Championships or the Women's Championships, for example, with millions of dollars of prize money on the line. Just kind of ease into it and to have a comfortable experience with your friends and family, and perhaps that is what gets you hooked. So your chance to compete against bowlers of your skill level, all average base, 6 divisions for doubles and singles, and 4 divisions for team. And then the hope is that you'll enjoy it so much that you'll continue to compete in the USBC mix, and then maybe take on the greater challenge of the Open or Women's, or perhaps if you're just a tournament bowler, take advantage of every competitive opportunity, which we mentioned Melissa Riccardi. Her husband Sean is here, and they have already competed downstairs in doubles and singles on the showcase lanes. They're looking to bowl the team event as well, and why not? They're here, they're competitive, and it's a chance to perhaps win a few more dollars in prize money. And I'm sure, Jessica, as a top competitor yourself, you will definitely take advantage of having these events here while they're in your current hometown.
They're in my back. I get the practice and to eventually be comparable to you and Aaron, in your skills. Is he beating you this year yet, or have you taken over that lead?
Well, we haven't had a chance to bowl on the same night too often. It's actually only 2-1. Aaron's advantage this year. I know, it's hard to believe, but of all the weeks that the league's been going on, it's just 2-1. And I think now that it is his advantage, he's blaming me for the schedule because I make the schedule, but trying to find ways to not have to bowl again. So no matter what, if it ended right now, he wins. And then of course we have our fantasy team all events, where he dominated me last year. I don't even know if that's something even worse. Annihilated maybe is the best word.
If you could put it, you pretty much got owned there, Matt. To be honest, it was kind of ridiculous. It was I felt a little sad for you all year on that one.
Well, it's all right because we went with the same teams this year, and we're going to need about 2,300. We need about 2,300 out of John Janowitz next week for Aaron to have a chance. So JJ's a great bowler, great friend, but kind of hoping to at least take home that title this year. And for the record, folks, turning our attention back to the competition here for just a minute, just want to point out that Sean Riccardi just pointed out that his wife, I believe, got her first strike of doubles here at the NBS. Again, it's her first appearance at the Women's Championships. She has come a long, long way with his coaching and expertise, and now competitive with a great team here. Anytime you get to bowl alongside a Hall of Famer, you are well on your way. And Melissa now clean in game number 2 with a strike there in the 5th frame. So always great to see bowlers want to improve so they can throw great shots like Tish just did on lane 41. But so many opportunities to progress in the sport. One gentleman who helps that happen here at the NBS is Mike Jasnow, a USBC silver coach. He helped out at the Open Championships in the VIP program. He actually was part of the process that started even what the Showcase Lanes is back in 2008. He came down to Albuquerque and did team practice sessions and helped the teams out on the official tournament lane condition, gave them tips and equipment advice, and that evolved into the Showcase Lanes in 2012. And now Mike actually works at lane 81 inside the pro shop area here at the NBS, and many, many bowlers will come through and spend a day or two with him, getting a final tune-up perhaps before hitting the championship lanes. A lot of success stories to talk about. Certainly has helped Aaron Smith get to the level he is at right now. But Mr. Jasnow always available inside the pro shop area. So look them up, check it out, and great to see bowlers like Melissa wanting to improve with the double now here in game 2. A lot of great USBC coaches across the country. So definitely get out there if you'd like some help. You can find more details about that on bowl.com. Get yourself a coach. Challenge yourself on sport bowling certified lane conditions. Go out there. You want to learn how to be accurate and make great shots, repeat shots. Make your spares is certainly a key for success at any event really, but especially when the conditions are a little bit more challenging. But speaking of which, if you are curious about what they are bowling on here at the Women's Championships, you can visit bowl.com/women's-champ, and you'll see under the information tab there is a link to this year's lane condition. Just one here at the WC. I'm pulling up that graph right now. It is very colorful and informative. 40-foot oil pattern this year. Also being used for the mixed. But if all these numbers and colors make any sense to you, it's there for you on bowl.com. You can check it out. See if your local bowling center will put the patterns out for you to be able to practice and get an idea before you head this way. Heard a conversation earlier between Kalina's husband and Sean talking about sport bowling and PBA experience leagues and all the different opportunities they have, where they come from. Sean, of course, now living in Florida, and a lot of great bowlers down that way and opportunities to test their skills. And we mentioned Tish Johnson recently tested her skills on the challenging lane condition at the USBC Senior Queens, where she finished as the runner-up for the 3rd consecutive year. So eventually, if you keep putting yourself in position, it's going to happen. And she has done that throughout her career. 25 professional titles. And now she is still primed and ready for the upcoming PWBA season. An opportunity, a career even, that was abruptly taken away from her back in 2003 when the PWBA closed its doors. She certainly was in the prime of her career, but now a dozen years later, USBC and the Bowling Proprietors Association of America have brought the PWBA back, and this year's USBC Queens was the kickoff event for the new PWBA season, which will run through the summer, and it will bring back a lot of the familiar names like Tish Johnson, Leanne Holstenberg. Kim Kearney has now revitalized her career. She's got some new equipment and kind of a new fire. We saw that at the Queens. She had a great run there. So great to see the Hall of Famers. Anne-Marie Dugan, another who is excited. Carolyn Doran-Ballard. So we'll see some familiar faces, and of course the youngsters who didn't quite get the chance. They were headed in that direction. They were partway through college when the PWBA closed its doors, and the Deandra Asbades of the world, Stephanie Nation, now Stephanie Johnson, Josie Ernest, all the great young Team USA players. Finally, we'll get to live that dream, so very cool.
Yeah, no, it's good to see them all excited. Even for me, I'm not, I bowl occasionally. My family's been bowling, but even for me to see the women's bowling tour come back and the PWBA come back, and all my friends who are just so excited about it, even makes me excited for them that they get this opportunity again to have it back and have something to strive for.
Well, and I don't want to ruin the story that's going to be out in the USBC Insider in a couple of weeks, but we had a chance to sit down and talk to a few of those players. And in the last 12 years or so, we've seen them at the Queens, we've seen them at the U.S. Women's Open, and we've seen them here at the Women's Championships. And a lot of them, they have real jobs now. Monday through Fridays, they bowl and they travel when they can. They hit the top events, but for the ladies, those are the only women-only events. A lot of them have taken the challenge to bowl alongside the men in the PBA. They come to the Open Championships, and they hit all the local events that they can. But to have something all their own, certainly very cool. And two of the ladies that we got to chat with also recently made the TV show at the USBC Queens. Fresh out of college, Erin McCarthy was one. She graduated from Midland back in 2012. She remembers the PWBA. She watched it on TV a little bit. Didn't quite know how to get there or what it was going to take, but she has elevated her game through the Team USA program now and the collegiate ranks. Got a national title with Kalina. See how it all ties together. Back in Nebraska in 2009. And at that point, once graduation came, that was pretty much it. They certainly could go out there and hit the events that they could, but perhaps not enough to maybe make a living. So Erin chose to go into the nursing field. So she's able to be a full-time nurse and bowl when she can. Her schedule is very flexible. And now with the addition of the PWBA here in 2015, she has two jobs. She's a full-time professional bowler and a full-time nurse. And as the #1 seed at the Queens, she did fall to USBC Hall of Famer Liz Johnson in the title match. But that's just Liz reestablishing her dominance and letting the youngsters know that she's still around, she's not going anywhere. But to get in that position really helped Erin prove that she belongs and she's ready. And then another competitor from that show, Liz Culkin, who just also graduated from Nebraska, took home 2 national titles there, and is a member of Team USA, or Junior Team USA in 2014, picked up some international experience and some medals over at the World Youth Championships. She actually had never seen the PWBA on TV. She was 10 years old in 2003 when, of course, things ended there. And she got serious about bowling a few years later and learned about the PWBA and all the great players through YouTube. So again, technology paying dividends, and really helped Liz understand where bowling had been and where she hoped maybe someday it would go. But she did go through her 4 years at Nebraska. Top level competitor, chasing the dream a little bit, knowing that eventually there would be a ceiling to it. Went into the criminology field and had planned on going to grad school, and was already set, filling out the paperwork, getting ready to go to school close to home. Then the announcement came about the PWBA coming back. So she went from potentially being a weekend bowler at PBA regionals and hitting the big events, the Queens and the US Women's Open, to now having to make that decision, pros and cons list, and decided that she was definitely going to take advantage of an opportunity that so many did not have for the last 12 years. And she will be out there as well, one of nearly 100 PWBA members. Proved that she is ready, not only with past performances in college, but in her professional debut at the Queens. So no doubt we'll see all of those players here at the WC at some point, and at all the other great events and on the new PWBA tour. So I know bowling fans for sure are looking forward to it. It will go coast to coast between July and Labor Day, starting in Sacramento early in July. The schedule, you can find that on pwba.com along with all the bios of the top players. But the U.S. Women's Open will take place on the other coast in New Jersey over Labor Day weekend. And then the top 16 players in the point standings will advance to the PWBA Players Championship event, which I believe is scheduled for the Dallas area. Don't quote me on that, but again, you can check out all the details. And if the top ladies are coming to your neighborhood, definitely go out and support them. Bowl in the Pro-Am, get some tips, get some autographs. They're very excited about being able to show the next generation of youth bowlers that there is something to strive for. Those coming through the ranks now, of course, a lot of the players have progressed from high school bowling to collegiate bowling, Junior Team USA, Junior Gold. All the fastest growing programs there are. Is pretty phenomenal. and then it was over, and college was done, and it kind of ended. So very cool to see that, and they're looking forward to, the next generation, as Aaron McCarthy put it, a future for the sport. So looking forward to being a role model for those young ladies to look up to and perhaps chase their own dreams of professional bowling. And I have no doubt, as we mentioned, Tish, already a PWBA member as a Hall of Famer, will be out there at the events she can't get to. And I'm sure we'll see Kalina Henning Shannon out there as well. Still a top performer. A few of the events headed to the Midwest, so very convenient for her to drive to from Lincoln. Tish Johnson, always the comedian. Great to chat with her, and of course, as a fellow left-hander, often watch in awe as we sometimes compete in the same events. We bowled a PBA regional, actually somehow ended up in Colorado. I know, right? Getting a look from Jessica here, but
in Colorado, that just sounds so out of place.
A couple of us traveled to the Colorado Springs area, and was fortunate enough to also make the cut, and got to bowl the Pro-Am next to Tish and talked a little bit, and it was pretty entertaining. So, but I'm taking mental notes now. I'm sure left-handers are tuning in.
I'm not left-handed, but I still watch, and I'm like, I couldn't even imagine throwing left-handed because I'm right-handed. But growing up all my life, I heard about Tish growing up, and she's definitely one that I've watched growing up, even though, like I said, different side of the boards. But it's always been entertaining to see how she plays and how it works out for her.
Well, she has a timeless style, and always seemed to be on or around the TV show. A PWBA millionaire back in the day. 25 titles on her way to the USBC Hall of Fame, but amazingly enough, 0 titles at the Women's Championships. It's baffling even, with the fact that for so long the Queens held alongside the Women's Championships. Just a great way to get out and be competitive. But still searching again for that first win. Right now, folks, you're watching live coverage of the 2015 USBC Women's Championships from here at the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, Nevada. Jessica, it's been 2 games now. I haven't said Open Championships or El Paso one time.
That's not true. Well, you have said El Paso.
In the incorrect context, so I'm pretty proud of that. That's been a challenge we've had in El Paso this entire year, because we're so used to saying Reno, Nevada. Because, of course, the last 2 years, a great opportunity for competitive bowlers, that everything was happening in the biggest little city in the world. The Women's Championships was right down the street at the Reno Sparks Convention Center. The Open Championships, Bowlers Journal Championships presented by USBC, and a 40-frame game all here at the National Bowling Stadium. So if you were a top lady bowler the last 2 years, you probably had a pretty good competitive time coming to Reno.
It's okay, I know how you feel. Even sometimes I forget that I'm working the women's. I'm so used to having worked the Open. This is my first women's, and I even get confused going, oh wait, I'm at the women's this year. It's totally a different ball game, but it's still just as fun.
Well, definitely a different environment. I would say the Women's Championships a little bit more laid back, a little bit more social. The ladies come from all over the country, several foreign countries. They like the reunions, the camaraderie. Very proud with their attire. Often they bring items to trade with players from other teams. Again, we talked about the big map on the wall where they celebrate where they come from, and a lot of great memorabilia. I was walking by one of the displays this morning and got to see a bowling ball and shirt from Jeannie Nakarado that she used to win diamond doubles last year at the Reno Sparks Convention Center. So cool to see a piece of history. A lot of cool history pieces and artwork inside the venue here. Just a little bit more room on the concourse. Not as many booths at the Women's Championships. Still have the pro shop area and some good souvenirs, but a little more room to spread out and celebrate a few other things. And of course, with the 6 average-based divisions for doubles and singles, an opportunity for bowlers of all skill levels, with Division 6, the Topaz division, being for 129 and below. So you got your Diamond division, 190 and above, all the way down to 129 and below. A great chance to come out, regardless of your skill level, enjoy the championship experience, the march down center aisle. Of course, seeing your name up in bright lights on the scoreboard, and then the chance to progress maybe through the divisions and improve from year to year.
That's definitely one thing I noticed in interviewing teams who take over lead. Because I work the Open, I find myself asking more strategy, and then I forget that these leaders are here to have fun. They come out and have a great time, and that's really what it is for them, is coming in, seeing their friends, making trips together, and just coming out to have a good time. If they bowl good, they feel great. If they don't do as well as they hope, they still feel as great as they walked in the door.
And you'll definitely see those who are ultra competitive will make it a point to hit both the Open and Women's Championships just to get a different experience. But right now, all these players have now experienced 2 games of doubles. Dana Borgman, 179. Melissa Riccardi, 163. Melanie McAllister, 145. Julie Harrison, 146. Kalina Shannon, 192. And Tish Johnson, now 212. Again, the numbers they are chasing in diamond doubles, 1404. Tennille Milligan and Linda Barnes, that is a sizable number. We talked about how well those two bowled while they were here, helping their team into the lead. Believe in a Cure, looking for back-to-back titles here at the WC, 26-34. Then taking the diamond doubles lead, 1404, and Tennille, 21-69 in diamond all events. So spectacular performance there. And then in Ruby doubles, that is the division for Borgman and Harrison, 1139. So we'll see if they can get close to that number. Again, Borgman 151, 179. Harrison 189, 146. So Jessica will be hard at work here, keeping an eye on things, getting ready to chat with them if it comes down to that point. And to make the top 10 in Ruby doubles, 1100. And on the diamond side, 1271 to make the top 10. And if you're curious about any of the news and notes and other standings here at the Women's Championships, you can visit bowl.com/women'schamp, and you see the complete leaderboards there. And if you're wondering how things are going at the USBC Mixed, those scores posted on bowl.com as well and updated every Monday, while the WC scores get updated multiple times a day. So if you want to wait a couple days, we'll have the absolute latest standings for you Monday afternoon for the USBC Mixed. And both of these great events here at the National Bowling Stadium will continue until June 30th. So still plenty of time. If you'd like to head this way, you can sign up you can get into the women's championships up until the very end, June 29th, the last team day. Still plenty of spots available. And the USBC Mixed even has walk-in entries available. So if you happen to be here, you're not sure if you're going to get a chance to bowl, but you have your equipment, go check it out.
Check out the sub board next to Bowler Services. There's postings every day on it. Somebody's always in need of somebody. It's how I've gotten through the Open so many years, is just putting it out there.
Well, we have the on-site sub board. It's the old pen and paper way of doing things for the folks who get to town and just something happened, they need somebody. We also have an online sub board. You can find that on the Women's Championships page on bowl.com. And if you'd like to know that you have a team before you head this way, if you're just an individual, that's a great way to do it. Or there's still time to put a team together. And if you happen to have, as in Melissa Riccardi's case, a husband traveling with you, why not throw a couple extra balls on a plane and get out there and compete, at least in mixed doubles. Give it a try. But I can tell you, as a competitive bowler, sometimes it's just hard to watch. Not because it's not entertaining, but because you want to be out there yourself. So why not take advantage of that opportunity? A lot of folks taking advantage of the opportunity to watch bowling on Bowl TV today, so thanks for tuning in. This is Game 3 of doubles. Matt Cannizzaro alongside Jessica Gilgore with no E. If you'd like to email her, jessica.gilgore@bowl.com. And you can find Aaron and I on social media. You can find me personally on Facebook, Matt Cannizzaro USBC, or on Twitter @USBCMatt.
Can people follow you on Facebook?
There's a few.
That's right. I'm sorry. I forget. I don't follow that one. I follow occasionally.
So every once in a while, I'll post something of value. A diamond in the rough. See what I did there?
Oh man. It's okay. I'd be lying if I said that in back in the office I have my own computer set up with the live stream running. I hang around you and Aaron way too much.
Well, that means that we'll at least always have one person tuning in besides us. So Aaron Smith right now hard at work at the El Paso Convention Center, holding things down at the USBC Open Championships, but has the live stream on in the background.
See, like I said, I hang out with you guys too much.
Definitely not a bad thing. You're welcome for that opportunity. Great shot there by Riccardi. Stone 8. So we'll take one more look here at 2013 Scratch and Diamond Doubles Champion Kalina Henning-Shannon up on lane 41. Games of 209, 192 so far today. Former standout at the University of Nebraska, making her third Women's Championships appearance now. Just got a message from Mr. Smith. He is in fact still tuned in and currently enjoying some of the fine cuisine down in El Paso. He visited the Strike Zone food truck right outside the convention center. Great shot there by Shannon on the split pickup. I will say, Jessica, while I truly enjoy the variety of food options in downtown Reno and nearby, El Paso has been pretty good as well. And somebody asked earlier in the chat room about Cattleman Steakhouse, which is a little bit of a drive, but well worth it for the ambiance. The ranch is what they call it, the Cattleman Steakhouse and Ranch, I guess, and you're kind of out in the middle of nowhere, but a lot to see out there and have a delicious meal. Great for team dinners. So a lot of folks have plan that into their time in El Paso, and of course, being in the Southwest and some terrific Southwest flavor and cuisine. The great El Paso battle for the who's got the best salsa and margaritas. So a little bit of a different experience in 2015. Well, that's what the bowlers were looking for. They got to go to a place that the Open Championships has never been, and the ladies were bragging a little bit about Sun City after 2010 and the great time they had there, and that only now is enhanced with the addition of the El Paso Chihuahuas baseball team and a lot of great restaurants and such downtown. So to think that it's something we've never done in 112 years, that's pretty neat, and I know they're excited about the possibility of perhaps down the road getting one or both of the tournaments back. And I think the bowlers that made it that way in 2010 were excited to go back in 2015, and those who went this year, maybe a little skeptical of the neighborhood, ended up having a great time and raved about it, and some even wish that they had planned to be there longer. And I definitely feel that way about the biggest little city in the world, that there's a lot of great places to revisit each time we're here, but always something new to see and experience.
Next time, if I ever make my way down that far south, I know who to call for some good food options. And Aaron is ever so quick with the quips, because I think Aaron is sometimes a bigger foodie and Reno area person than you are.
Well, I think we both have our strengths in the nutrition department, and if you get both of us in a conversation about any of our host cities, I think you can have a pretty balanced experience. Another great shot on lane 42. The 8-pin not cooperating. We saw Riccardi leave one in the second frame, and now Kalina with the same result. And Melanie McAllister, 7-10 on that lane for the second time, one frame ago. So if you're enjoying today's live coverage from the Women's Championships, well, thank you. And there's good news. We'll be back on the air tomorrow with USBC Hall of Famer Lucy Sandelin for the 4 p.m. team event here. That'll be 7 p.m. Eastern. So definitely tune in for that. Always great to see these accomplished players try to get it done here on the biggest stage in women's bowling. Last night in the team event, we just saw Tish Johnson striking for the second time on the right lane there, but she had 683. So if you're calculating at home, seeing if she can catch Diamond All Events leader Tennille Milligan, 2169. She's going to have some work to do. That 683 start, 656 for Kalina, as they helped own it to a 2370 team total, just outside of the top 10. And again, here at the WC now, 4-player teams makes things a lot easier for pairing up for doubles and singles, of course, and even for travel and lodging. But, just before we got underway today, 2 key pieces of advice that we do not hear at the Open Championships on a daily basis, but announced here at the women's. First thing was make sure to look down and make sure that you took your shoe booty off before you get up there and practice. Always safety first. And second was a reminder that registration already is open for next year's event. So the Women's Championships headed to South Point Bowling Plaza in Las Vegas in 2016. A lot of excitement because who doesn't love Las Vegas? So the ladies excited to go back. We saw a near record turnout for the Open Championships in Las Vegas in 2009. It's 17,200 teams, which was 85 short of the record, which was set here at the National Bowling Stadium in 1995. But the WC and the mixed headed to the brand new facility as part of the South Point Casino down there on the south side.
It's very far south. I haven't grown up in Vegas. I didn't even realize they had put something that far south until one day I was driving the 15 out of town. I was like, oh. But considering it's built specifically for this, unlike in 08, 09 when they were down there at the Cashman Center downtown, which they had to put everything in. This is strictly a bowling center, almost, not quite the National Bowling Stadium, but in its own respect. And I'm excited to go down there and check it out. I haven't been yet, so.
Well, there's always something special about the convention center build, of course. That is a tradition in the history of the Open Championships going back to 1901. Building a facility specifically for the tournament. But the fact that a city is interested and willing to spend $30 million plus on a permanent facility, that says a lot about not only the history and tradition of the tournaments, but what they mean to the host city. And we're excited about that opportunity, just as we are to come back to the National Bowling Stadium here in Reno whenever we get a chance. But that South Point Bowling Plaza will host the Women's Championships next April through June. And registration already open on bowl.com. And registration for the mixed will be along shortly. But we do have a few different rules for the Women's Championships next year to be aware of, so definitely read those carefully when you go in to sign up. One in particular is I believe you will not be able to sub in a second team event at the Women's Championships moving forward. So you just get one shot at it. And the other big news is for the professional bowlers now with the PWBA coming back. Some different standards there, so check that out. Keep an eye on things, and we hope to see you next year in Las Vegas. The way that it worked now is if you bowled in 2016, then you have locked in your dates and times for 2017. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. If you bowled this year at the Women's Championships, you had the opportunity to lock in your dates and times for next year's event in Las Vegas. And it's a 60-day window. It's about to expire. So if you want to bowl the same dates and times, it's guaranteed to you. And the same will be extended to the Open Championships for 2017. If you bowl next year in Reno, you'll be locked in for those dates and times for that 60-day window as you register for the 2017 event. Also at the South Point Bowling Plaza. Got it.
Glad to see you figured out where you were there.
Sometimes there's so much information, it gets jumbled. It's like the spaghetti bowl of information, and you just have to sort it all out and realize that we're here for 3.5, 4 hours. There's plenty of time to say everything that has to be said. Just a rundown of the upcoming events. Again, next year, WC, Las Vegas. In 2017, we'll head to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Excited about that. Big fan of, again, the cuisine, because that's what I do. In Baton Rouge, a great host city for the Open in 2005 and 2012. Women's has been there, but not for many, many years. So they'll head back that way in 2017. Also, we'll welcome the Intercollegiate Team and Singles Championships and the NCAA Bowling Championships, all on the tournament lanes. So a lot happening. And then a historic year coming up in 2019 for the WC, going to Wichita for the 100th anniversary. And then scheduled in 2021 to go to Mobile, Alabama. So, and then outside of that will be the Reno Vegas rotation. find complete details on bowl.com/women's champ. And then the OC headed to Reno next year here at the NBS. Las Vegas in 2017. Headed east to Syracuse in 2018. Haven't been there since 1999. That was my personal tournament debut. Most of it very memorable. But right now you're watching game 3 of doubles. The number on top, diamond doubles, 1404, Tania Milligan and Linda Barnes. And in Ruby doubles, that's the Division 2 for Dana Borgman and Julie Harrison. $11.39. And of course, we've got about 52 of the 78 lanes going right now here at the NBS. And if you've never been here, a fantastic facility. You walk in, you can see from the airplane even the giant dome theater on the front of the building and the glowing lights of the National Bowling Stadium. But you walk into the one-of-a-kind facade as you walk over from the Tribe properties across the street. Eldorado, Circus, and Silver Legacy are longtime sponsors. But you enter, and to your right, you'll see the showcase lanes, 10 lanes added in 2013. An opportunity for practice and side events and different things, different corporate events held down there. And to your left on the ground floor, the Satellite Museum for the International Bowling Museum and Hall of Fame. So a lot of history down there. And then, of course, you take the longest escalator ever, or the elevator, up to the 4th floor, and that is where the 78 tournament lanes are housed. So very expansive venue, high ceilings, mirrors. Definitely has that championship feel. You might have seen the venue if you've ever seen the movie Kingpin. Part of that movie filmed right here at the NBS.
Even still watching it on film and hearing about it doesn't compare to the first moment you get in and take a look and realize exactly where you're at, though. It's definitely, it is a one-of-a-kind facility.
Well, then up here on the 4th floor, we have the Pro Shop area. So if you're in need of any bowling equipment while you're here or some kind of souvenirs, plenty of opportunity. And it is my understanding that the concourse will change a little bit in the coming years as well. The seating area will be a little bit different. There's a restaurant scheduled to go into the NBS again. So even if you've been here before, come on back, check it out. Always something new. All right, so rolling along here, back half of game number 3 of doubles. We do have a nice, intimate crowd in the chat room today. And standing room only here behind us at the National Bowling Stadium to watch USBC Hall of Famer Tish Johnson and two-time Women's Championships doubles titleist Helena Henning-Shannon. And you see on the scoreboard for Kalina a trophy icon next to her name, indicating her success here at the Women's Championships, comparable to the Orange Eagle at the USBC Open Championships. So all right, folks, we're just having a scoring conversation here, so stay tuned. We'll be right back with the conclusion of doubles in just a minute. We'll get that straightened out. Don't go anywhere, but while you have a minute, text your friend, call them, tell them, tune into Bowl TV and watch the great coverage from the 2015 USBC Women's Championships. We'll be right back in just a minute once we get that score situated. All right, we are back in business here. Score corrected and moving along with the last few frames of doubles. I'll give a quick shout out to Lindsay Boomershine. Just sent a message to say hello and wanted to wish their companion team good luck. Of course, Lindsay a little under the weather and unable to make the trip this week, as she would be bowling alongside this Own It team. But we'll see Lindsay and Alicia Current and the rest of the team on June 19th and 20th. But Lindsay, I hope you're feeling better, and thanks for tuning in today. As we're enjoying 3 games of doubles, we'll have 3 games of singles coming up next. Got all the windows open here on the computer. Facebook notifications going wild. We appreciate everybody sharing the news about today's broadcast. Not only is this the first Women's Championships appearance for Melissa Riccardi, it is the very first live stream appearance for Jessica Gilgore. So send her a note, let her know how she's doing. Jessica.Gilgore with no E at bowl.com.
My whole thing is just do good by Aaron Emil as your sidekick today. That's all I can ask for.
That's right. When Aaron was here, Emil came to town, didn't he?
He totally did, and I missed him. I was very sad, but he left me such a nice note on my desk. Oh, I'm sorry, his desk. But having watched them co-commentate with you for so long, I can only hope I live up to their standard. They set a very high bar.
Well, thanks for joining us today. You're doing a great job. Maybe we'll just leave the gear here and let you do it.
I don't know if I can handle that much pressure. Aaron seems to fold very well under it. I'd be afraid of falling into the same fate.
Well, there definitely have been some exciting moments on the live stream over the years, and this year especially. And we got to see the terrific performance by Believe in It Cure, the defending team champ, getting back to the top of the leaderboard here in 2015, and then blasting them again in doubles and singles. Tania Milligan and Linda Barnes raising the bar in diamond doubles, 14.04, currently on top. And Tania Milligan, of course, going on to take the all events lead live on Bowl TV. 21:69. If you missed any of that, you definitely missed a great performance, but it's not too late. You can go back in the archives. Everything we've done available at youtube.com/BowlTV. And all those terrific broadcasts from not only the Open and Women's Championships, but from all USBC events. Again, we were at the USBC Senior Queens not too long ago, where Tish Johnson finished second to fellow Hall of Famer Robin Romeo. A very emotional ending to that match for Robin, and you can see all that in the archives. Jessica, going back to our starstruck conversation from earlier, I just got a Facebook message from a gentleman who you might have heard of. He's bowled a perfect game on TV. And he says, "Hey Matt, I'm headed to El Paso. Just want to see if you're interested in bowling the Bowlers Journal Championships." How cool is that? CK Moore.
If I had $1 for every time somebody came last year just looking for you to ask you anything or see you or anything, I think I'd be rich and I could quit my job.
Well, what fun would that be?
I know. I wouldn't be able to hang out with all these fine ladies and you.
I mean, I guess you could come and do it anyway, but it doesn't pay the bills. But if you're already rich, I guess you could do it for fun. There you go. You'd be the #1 women's championships fan.
I can't take that title. I could have swore that was Aaron's title.
No, it's his first love.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I stand corrected.
Yeah, it is way deeper than just being a fan.
I'm sure I will get payback for all of my digs at him when he comes back at the end of June. I plan on having some retribution from him there.
So CK Moore, by the way, bowled a 300 game against Parker Bone III on February 2nd, 1996. It was the 9th televised perfect game in PBA history. So very cool. You never know who's going to show up on your news feed or in your messages. And definitely a humbling job sometimes. So Jessica, we've already gone global in your very first live stream appearance. Finland tuning in. There's a couple folks from El Paso, Brandy and Aaron, checking things out here on Bowl TV. And Mandy says you're doing awesome. It's right there in writing if you want to take a picture of that and save that forever.
I try. I'm trying very hard right now.
So doubles coming to a close here. Dana Borgman, 151, 179, 124 for a 454 series. And Julie Harrison struggling at the conclusion of game number 3. Finishes with 108 for 443. And an 897 total. So going to be a little bit shy of the leaderboard. And McCarty and Kalina Henning-Shannon, they finish with 1048. Right now, Melanie McAllister and Tish Johnson wrapping things up here. Again, 1404 on top of the standings in diamond doubles, 1139 in ruby. So we will not see a new leader, at least on this pair of lanes, for today. Melanie McAllister finishes with 167, 145, 172 for 484. And Tish, who had 683 in team event yesterday, shoots 638 here in doubles. 683, 638. Jessica taking over for Aaron Smith. Fast on the calculator. Tish will need to shoot 8:48 in singles to catch Tennille Milligan's 21:69. That is a huge number that Tennille put up with a spectacular performance. And 8:48 also would be some kind of record. That would be good enough for the Diamond singles lead by a bunch here in 2015. There's a tie right now at the top of the Diamond singles standings. Darius Ruffner from Exeter, California, and Rochelle Robintini from Franklin, Wisconsin, 7:42.
I was right. I did say 7:42. I just wasn't 100% confident in it.
You have to own it.
Ah.
Just like their team name yesterday. So looking at the Women's Championships record book, highest series in WC competition, 8:16 happened twice. Jody Westner in El Paso, Texas in 2010 on the way to the Scratch and Diamond All Events titles with a record score of 23:30. That is the highest All Events total at either championships tournament. Just ahead of Matt McNeil's 23:26 performance at the Open Championships that same year. And the other was Michelle Feldman, 8:16 on the way to the singles title in 2009. Right here at the NBS. So 800s in Women's Championships history. And only one bowler, Dee Dee Davidson, with a 300 and an 800. So there's your fast facts for today. All right, so singles underway. And we're going to take a look at the standings. Again, 7:42 on top of Diamond. Julie Harrison will be bowling in Division 2, which now is Ruby. It's 175 through 189. And top spot there, 654, Nicole Ryan from Johnson City, New York. And Dana Borgman participating in Emerald singles, 160 through 174. And on top there, 610, Barbara Frank. Happened this week, actually. We wrote about that in this week's Women's Championships Weekly Glance. That's the news release we send out to the world every Friday afternoon to tell them what's going on and get them the updated scores from the week. So 610, 654, and 742. So with that, singles getting underway. We're watching live coverage from the 2015 USBC Women's Championships. Matt Canizaro and Jessica Kilgore live behind lanes 41 and 42 here at the one-of-a-kind National Bowling Stadium. Thanks for tuning in. Tell all your friends we'll be here for 3 more games. We've got folks tuning in from Finland and Wales, from El Paso.
I know Vegas is represented on there. I totally had to, throw the mom in there. So she's totally watching and taking in my first live streaming experience.
All right, well, Mandy says you're doing awesome and even better. World famous Fran Deacon says that she is looking forward to meeting you.
Uh-oh. Hopefully I'll be in the building.
So, Fran, let us know when you're headed this way. We appreciate all that you've done for the sport of bowling. And, of course, for the USBC Hall of Fame. And with that said, as we get comfortable here for singles, we've got a prediction that Tish will shoot 700 in singles. We will see. There's a nice break there on the 9-pin for the double to start. So while we get ready to see if that prediction comes true, we'll take a quick station identification. We want to thank our gold partners for today's broadcast: Columbia 300, Hammer, Kegel, and Storm products. And we'll have the rest of singles coming right up. All right, we're back in business here. Singles moving along nicely, getting close to the halfway point here of game number 1. The prediction already on paper from a bowling fan who shall remain nameless, that Tish will shoot 700 here in singles, and that would get her easily in the top 10. Right now, 742 on top of diamond singles. 734 is third, followed by Liz Johnson, 707. And after that, 698, 697, 693, 687, 682, and 679. Missy Parkin rounding out the top 10 here in 2015. And Jessica Frandekin will be here on the last 2 days of the event. She'll be bowling with Vesma Grinfelds and Virginia Norton, 2 more pretty familiar names in the bowling world. And Aaron Smith will be here to see the women's championships come to a close on June 30th. So now that you are a live stream veteran, perhaps you'll find your way back into the booth with Mr. Smith. And if you're curious about the rest of the live stream schedule from the Open and Women's Championships, you can visit bowl.com/livestream or just go to the main page of bowl.com and you'll see it down on the bottom right hand side of your screen. A lot of great broadcasts yet to come. In fact, we'll have one in about 24 hours as we're back on the air for the team event. USBC Hall of Famer Lucy Sandelin will lead her team onto the lanes here at the National Bowling Stadium. That'll be at 7 p.m. Eastern. And then a very exciting one coming up. A lot of personal friends in that group and a lot of success. Lodge Lanes at the USBC Open Championships June 9th at 7 p.m. Eastern. That group includes 3-time Open Championships titleist John Janowitz, and their Hall of Fame leader, John Gaines, will be in town but not participating due to injury. So he has built 4 solid teams, and one member of that group, who I believe, but cannot prove at this point, will be making his Open Championships debut, Mr. Norm Duke. And we'll have that live for you on Bowl TV. Of course, Norm was a PBA champion at age 18, so it is possible that he has never been eligible for the Open Championships till now. It'll be one and done after he picked up a title this year on the PBA Tour. So he'll get the chance, and we'll see it live on Bowl TV June 9th. And then he'll go back out to PBA land and will not be eligible for the 2016 event here in Reno.
It's always good to get the one in to say you've done it. It's that missing piece to a point.
Alright, but the rest of the schedule for the rest of the year available there. And from the WC here, Aaron Smith will be in town for the last few days of this year's event. Kicked off April 10th. We'll wrap up June 30th. And on June 27th, a talented team from the East Coast, Time of Our Life. And the very next day, on the 28th, USBC Hall of Famer Carolyn Doran Ballard, another young lady who's very excited about the return of the PWBA. They'll be on the lanes for doubles and singles on June 28th. So another opportunity for them to excel here at the Women's Championships and for Jessica Gilgore to put on the headset. And great shot there by Tish. Says goodbye to that 6-pin in style. It's like a great ball change here for singles, as she has started with 4 of the first 5 on the way to that prediction of 700. Again, 742 is what it will take to grab the lead here and give Jessica something to do this afternoon. Also, some other great bowlers walking around the building. We talked about the senior queen just a few minutes ago. Tish Johnson finishing second for the 3rd consecutive year. Recently 50. Lisa Wasson from down in Texas, the Dallas-Fort Worth area. She made the step ladder, finished 3rd this year. She's in the building with the world-famous Jeannie and Tony Franklin. And, of course, former Team USA member Tina Stickney, part of that group. Also, some talented players from Wisconsin coming into town today. Colin and Kristen Warzinski, a PBA West Region Rookie of the Year, headed to Reno this afternoon. I want to say she bolts tonight at 7 p.m. So definitely a lot of scores to keep an eye on over the next couple days here at the Women's Championships. And you can keep an eye on bowl.com for updated leaderboards if you're curious about how things are going, or if you're curious as they're unfolding. You can visit the Women's Championships page on bowl.com, go to the Scores tab, and you will see live scoring provided by X Bowling. So I actually did that last night from a nearby establishment. Just kept an eye on Tish's team a little bit after I departed from the venue. Watched the first game and a half or so, and then went to check into the hotel and was able to pull up X Bowling and follow along for the rest of Game 2 and Game 3 to see how things turned out. They shot 23-70. Just missed the top 10, but not a bad performance by the Hall of Famer. 683, 638 in doubles. So she'll need 848 to get to the all events lead, and it's still out there. So crazier things have happened. All right, Tish still striking. And you're watching it unfold here live on Bowl TV. Perhaps the next great moment in bowling history. A lot of great ones. Lead changes earlier this year. Diamond doubles, Tennille Milligan and Linda Barnes. And Tennille went on to take the all events lead. Of course, they found their way to the top of the team leaderboard the day before. All of that in the archives on Bowl TV. And remember to subscribe to Bowl TV so you're not left out of all these great broadcasts and when they're happening. And we spent a little bit of time earlier talking about the new beginning for the PWBA, the Professional Women's Bowling Association. Kicked off earlier this month. First of 11 events, USBC Queens. So they'll be on tour coast to coast July and August. And you can catch all that action on Extra Frame. So you'll have to subscribe to Extra Frame for a reasonable cost to watch the best women compete week in and week out. Unless, of course, you can get there in person and come out and see some of your favorite competitors like Tish Johnson, like Carolyn Doran Ballard, possibly even Kalina Henning Shannon. Tish locked in here, making the right moves, and as the lone left-hander on the pair, clearly able to break him down nicely during doubles, and now throwing terrific shots through 7 frames in singles. 6 out of 7.
Maybe she knows that that it's planned for her to have 700 this series. She doesn't want to disappoint.
Well, we've seen Tish throw a lot of strikes in her days. She did finish second in the Senior Queens here in this building last year. So if you're going to get your way to that $1 million mark in your career, probably going to have to throw a few. Still searching for that elusive first women's championships title. Could today be the day? Last year, women's championships held just down the street at the Reno Sparks Convention Center, and ended around the same time frame, very end of June, and that's the same time the USBC Queens took place here at the National Bowling Stadium. So the top players came to town and they hit up the women's championships either before or during Queens Week. And we saw the top titles won during that week. Linda Barnes was here at the Queens when she found out that she had helped her team to the team title, and the all events crown was hers as well. Still a little longer to go here in 2015. Another month, exactly another month. These things will wrap up on June 30th again. Aaron Smith doing some homework while we're on the air today. Pulled up Norm Duke's participation record, which includes decades of Masters participation, but Aaron said that Norm bowled the Open Championships from 1981 to 1983. So no doubt he was a youngster back then, and well on his way to a very successful professional career. We got to see another gentleman recently return to the Open Championships lanes for the first time since 1992, Jason Couch. And I had a chance to interview Jason. Uh-oh, Tish. Got that one left, didn't like it, stomped it out, and it came roaring back for the 5-bagger. So Jason Couch, also left-handed. How about that? Personal hero of mine, of course. And got to interview him for the 50 Greatest Bowlers in PBA History book that was published back for the 50th anniversary of the PBA. And Jason told me the story of how when he first went out on tour right there in the early 1990s, things didn't go so well. He was ready to quit. And pretty much his parents did not support that decision. And they told him, stay out there, man up, get it done, and the rest is history. And now that he's kind of stepped back a little bit from competition and had a chance to come out and bowl in the Open Championships again with some talented teams not too long ago. So always cool to see those guys go from being top individual competitors to the team environment and get to experience that. I know for some who have been around it and then are not eligible for the Open Championships, like a Tom Hess, based on his Masters title back in 2011, and then Tom Doherty as well, another gentleman. They certainly missed the opportunity to compete in the team environment, and enjoy it very much when they get to return. So we'll see how that goes. And it's kind of the opposite here for the women now. They're used to essentially mostly team competition here at the WC and a couple of top individual events, the Queens and the U.S. Women's Open. But now they have their own tour, so they're going to get a taste of that. So looking forward to a very exciting rest of 2015 with some great events coming up. So we got our travel schedule set. As soon as we're done in El Paso, Aaron Smith will rush off to the Junior Gold Championships in the Chicago area with Lucas Wiseman. And then I will head to the second PWBA stop in Lubbock, Texas. And then Terry Bigham, our associate, our much more experienced associate, will head to Toronto for the Pan Am Games. And then we'll head to Green Bay for the Senior Masters, Senior Championships, and Super Senior Classic. So a lot happening in the bowling world, and we'll have all those details for you available on bowl.com, so check it out. All those great events. Tish's string of strikes comes to an end at 5 with a very challenging 7-count spare. She will need 8:48 to get the all events lead and 7:43 to take over the top spot in diamond singles. Julie Harrison stepping up on lane 41 right now, is competing in Ruby singles, Division 2. Top number there, 654. Great shot there by Julie. And then Dana Borgman up on lane 42 is in Emerald singles. Top number there, 610. Watching it all live here on Bowl TV. Thanks for tuning in. Our number has increased steadily throughout the 6 games so far, or I guess through 4 games so far. And we'll be here the rest of the way. All right, well, we are handing out some future of the sport, or future for the sport pins here. New USBC tagline. It's actually projected on the floor downstairs as you walk into the National Bowling Stadium. A future for the sport. We have logo pins here as well. So celebrating that, we talked about that earlier with Erin McCarthy, runner-up at the Queens, who is very excited about her role as a role model for the next generation of professional women's bowling association.
Sorry, I didn't mean to rebuff your pin there, Matt. I got mine opening day from Mr. Jason Overstreet handed me one because I didn't have one yet. Felt that was my official signification to me that I'm totally a part of your guys' team, which is still crazy.
Well, It is your lucky day. All right, so final frame here of game number 1 of singles. Tish Johnson can spare up here and finish with 245. So Tania Milligan can take a deep breath. She will remain the all events leader for one more squad at least. So there's a gentleman at the giant map on the wall right now putting some push pins in. Looks like he is from somewhere in Iowa. Hard to tell from here exactly what they're aiming for.
They're looking like it's
Michigan,
looking like
Wisconsin.
Nah, Minnesota, Wisconsin, probably Twin Cities area actually.
So bowlers from all 50 states, several foreign countries, and of course our live stream chat room has gone global. We appreciate everybody tuning in or coming to see us in person here at the Women's Championships. As game 1 is done. Dana Borgman 142, Melissa Riccardi 186, Melanie McAllister 201, Julie Harrison 139, Helena Henning Shannon 181 with 3 in the 10th, and Tish Johnson, the USBC Hall of Famer, 244 start. So she's going to have a little bit of work to do, but she definitely had a pretty solid look there through at least 8 frames. So the USBC PR world a little bit upside down this weekend. This is Matt Canizaro, and we're broadcasting live from the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, Nevada. Aaron Smith back in El Paso, Texas, eagerly awaiting the arrival of Lucas Wiseman. So Lucas Wiseman's limo expected to pull up sometime this afternoon as he gets ready to compete in the USBC Open Championships. I know he's been hard at work getting his game ready to try to take down Aaron Smith's 1680-ish all events total that he posted. Game 2 now underway. Helena Shannon making her 3rd USBC Women's Championships appearance. She's got the paperwork right here to prove it. Took home scratch and diamond doubles titles in her debut in 2013. Tish Johnson making her 34th Women's Championships appearance. bowled 2067 last year. Pretty solid effort. A career best even. So Tish getting better with experience. Dana Borgman making her 10th appearance here at the WC from Mill Creek, Washington. And number 15 for Melanie McAllister. And number 16 for Julie Harrison. So definitely appreciate the dedication of these players. Don't forget, if you have not bowled in this year's Women's Championships or the USBC Mix, come on out. We're here till June 30th. Registration still open. Get your team, get on the sub board. We'll definitely start planning for it next year. Both events headed to South Point Bowling Plaza in Las Vegas. Get your team in now for the Women's Championships. Sounds like it's going to be a big year as we head to Sin City. Taking a look back at last year's standings, these Storm Nation teams performed quite well. Storm Nation, including Tish Johnson, finished second in Diamond Team. And Storm Nation 2, which included McAllister and Henning, finished third. They've got a nice group they've put together here. Of course, the other half of the group includes Lindsay Boomershine and Alicia Current. And we should be seeing them June 19th and 20th. Also part of that group, former collegiate standout Kelly Callahan. Right now, it's all about the Hall of Famer trying to make a run here in singles. 2:44 start. And of course, the conclusion of the tournament debut for Melissa Riccardi from St. Petersburg, Florida. Her brother is former Team USA member David O'Sullivan. How about that? So, some bowling genetics. lot of folks in the building already. Getting ready for the 4 p.m. team event. Many coming up from downstairs from competing in doubles and singles at the USBC Mixed. We'll have team events today at 4 and 7 p.m. And then back at it bright and early tomorrow morning. Squads at 8 a.m. and noon. And of course, we'll be back on the air on Bowl TV with Lucy Sandelin, USBC Hall of Famer, for team competition at 7 p.m. Eastern. So don't miss out on that. Right now, more great shots from Tish Johnson. She can't get the all events lead, but single still a possibility.
Just doing the math, and if she takes over singles by 4 pins, she'll tie her top all events career. So I gotta take place for Aaron and doing math.
Jessica getting fancy with the statistics, of course. Always helps enhance our coverage on Bowl.com. All the little tidbits you can figure out just by looking at a score sheet or a participation record. And a resume for a player like Tish, pretty extensive. 25 pro titles, that's tied for 4th all-time PWBA. One major, the 1992 U.S. Women's Open, Team USA member in 2008. 2014, a Triple Crown Shootout winner, 2013 National Golden Ladies winner. She finished 2nd at the National Golden Ladies this year. 3 consecutive runner-up finishes at the USBC Senior Queens. USBC Hall of Fame in 2002, PWBA Hall of Fame in 1998. And she accomplished something in 1996 that I was not able to ever accomplish. She won the Hoinky Super Classic. Paid a whole lot of money. I want to say it was $100,000 back then. She also was the 1992 and 1995 PWBA Player of the Year. So quite a career. All right, Aaron Smith making jokes in the chat room. Yes, Mr. Smith, I do remember that time I finished 2nd at the Hoinky Super Classic. Thank you. Here's Borgman and Harrison from Washington. Very surprised to see the camera set up today and learning that they were going to be on Bowl TV. Hopefully they enjoy going home and watching the archives, and perhaps some family members already have tuned in to see how they're doing here in Reno, Nevada. So off camera here, we're just having a little bit of fun with the Ricardis, and asked where Melissa's first timer button was. Told her I didn't want her to get disqualified for not wearing it. And she feverishly searched through her bag to find it and was about to put it on, and told her I was just messing around. But certainly something we like to celebrate here is all of our rookies receive a first time button at both the Open and Women's Championships. And we'd like to be able to give them a little bit of extra attention, perhaps, as they get comfortable with the competitive environment. All right, so we're the back half of game number 2. Tish still striking, 2:44 start. And now she's got 4 out of 5 here in game number 2. We appreciate everybody stopping by, at least for part of your Saturday afternoon here on Bowl TV, to watch Tish Johnson roll 10 pins and 6 pins. And she is trying to find her way. The prediction was 700. Shots like that, it's going to be 700 and then some. Right now, top of the leaderboards, 742, two-way tie. And in Ruby singles, 654, and Emerald singles, 610. Dana Borgman just bowled on lane 42. She is bowling in Emerald. Julie Harrison up on 41 is in Ruby. Everybody else bowling in Diamond singles. Shot there by Kalina. 10 pin refuses to fall. She started with 181. Riccardi started with 186. Melissa's brother, David O'Sullivan, former Team USA member, a top coach in the Orlando, Florida area. High flush for the Hall of Famer. 5-bagger. Jessica hard at work on the calculator or working on her sign language, one or the other. Counting things out, keeping an eye on scores. Remember, find us on Facebook, the official Open and Women's Championships Facebook page. That's where you can go for all the highlights from both championship tournaments. You can also find us individually on Facebook, Matt Canizaro USBC, or on Twitter, at USBC Matt and at USBC Aaron. last year. Tish just missed the top 5 in Diamond All events, her 2067. Just right behind Shauna Shannon, who rounded out the top 5 with 2078. Tish now up on the right lane, looking to make it 6 in a row. On her way to 280. Got that one a little bit left and just kind of lazy out there. Never really made a strong move, leaves the flat 7. So she'll think that one over for a minute. Get ready to shoot the 7 pin. While she does that, we'd like to send our best out to Martha Johnson from Johnson City, Tennessee. She was scheduled to make her 50th appearance today at 4 p.m. and she will not be joining us. I believe she had some surgery and was just not able to get ready in time for this year's appearance, but excited about reaching that coveted milestone next year in Las Vegas. So she was scheduled to be one of 8 bowlers to reach 50 years this year. We'll look forward to seeing her again in 2016 and wish her well in a speedy recovery. This week we did get a visit from Yvonne Carroll, however, from California. She wrapped up her 50th appearance yesterday. We'll have a recap of that for you on bowl.com later this weekend. And another one that we're looking forward to coming up on June 7th, Frances Playa, a member of the Zodiacs. They're a fun group from New Orleans. And they come to the Women's Championships every year. Of course, she's been here now. It'll be her 50th, and next year, team captain Linda Pertini will make her 50th appearance. They've been together for all of that time and are the only 2 remaining original members of the Zodiacs group, but their claim to fame, well, one of their claims to fame is that they like to make their own costumes when they come and bowl. So they'll pick a theme each year, sometimes based on where the event is held, and they will make their own costumes and come to the lanes and just really put on a show for the bowlers. And that goes back to the old dress code days and some different feelings they had on the dress code at the time, and decided why not start a tradition. So some of their work, I believe, is on display here at the National Bowling Stadium. 1 or 2 of their costumes from over the years and some stories and news about them, as they seem to get a lot of attention in any host city that they go to, and rightfully so. Often adorned head to toe in sequins or something other creative, clever theme that they come up with. I think one year in Indianapolis they dressed up like Uncle Sam, or but I'm sure Jessica's looking forward to sitting down with Frances and talking about the last 50 years and what it's like being part of that group, one of the most famous groups in Women's Championships history. So just wanted to point out, I guess, it's not all about the big scores at our championships events. A lot of dedication. Some bowlers may never win, but they chase other milestones and accomplishments. Of course, our record holder for most tournament appearances, Minnie Vaska. 67 tournaments through 2013. And she never won a title here, but one of the most celebrated players. And of course, our oldest participant, Emma Hendrickson, bowled back in 2011 at age 102. All right, so game 2 of singles already coming to a close here. Feels like we just got set up and underway. It's almost time to say goodbye till tomorrow, but still one big game left. Just trying to make her push in singles here. Great shot there by Melissa Riccardi for the 3-bagger. While Tish is throwing great shots here at the NBS, Aaron Smith is testing me technologically, trying to find me in every possible way. I got a text, he's in the chat room, got an instant message on our internal network here, and probably an email is going to show up here any minute. And we tell the folks out there, feel free to reach out to us on Facebook, Twitter, or by email if you have any questions or comments, or just want to talk about Tish's great performance here in singles. And Aaron is utilizing all those avenues right now. Clearly working very hard in El Paso today. But it's okay. He's tuned into Bowl TV, probably taking notes. Right now, game 2 in the books. 492 for Tish. She'll need 250 for a share of the singles lead. 742, two-way tie. Darius Ruffner and Rochelle Roventini. So 244, 248. We will not see a new singles leader in the Emerald Division today. And we will not have one in Ruby singles. So Tish, the only one left to make a run here. I would say the 700 prediction, probably a good bet at this point. Made a good ball change here for singles. After 6:38 in doubles, so Cardi 186, 179. McAllister 201, 192. Kalina, Henning, Shannon 181, 160. So struggling a little bit here in singles. And Tish Johnson 244, 248. If you missed any of today's broadcast and want to go back and check it out, it'll be posted on youtube.com/BowlTV, along with all the other great broadcasts from over the years. And that right lane, giving Tish some fits. Another flat 7. Ball just not making a move on the back. Spare, no problem, but not too much room for the Hall of Famer. If I was gonna guess, I would say Tish was throwing the Storm Rocket, but a little hard to tell from here. Curious about the lane condition these ladies are facing today, you can visit bowl.com/women's champ and click on the information tab, and you'll see a link to this year's lane graph, 40-foot pattern using Kegel Fire Oil. The Fire and Ice came to be in 2013, designed to hold up longer, transition less, to maintain the integrity of the intended competitive environment. At the Open Championships, we use the ice, which is a little bit slicker. Fire tends to hook a little bit more. Just like that shot there from Kalina. Also very cool this year at our championships tournaments, the top of the line Kegel Flex lane machines. There's 13 specially painted ones in existence. A red, white, and blue eagle motif, which is hand painted by a gentleman in Florida, and those are being used at USBC championships tournaments all year long. We have 5 at the Open Championships, a few here at the WC, and we saw them at the USBC Queens and Senior Queens. Once the events conclude for the year, those machines will be auctioned and sold off by Kegel, of course our official lane maintenance provider and industry gold partner, and the proceeds from those will go to benefit Folds of Honor, a military organization that benefits the family of those who serve or have served and been killed overseas, defending our fine country. So we're really glad to be a part of that and to see that go to a good cause. We saw something similar back in 2011 with Bowl for the Cure. We had pink lane machines that were sold off to raise money for Susan G. Komen and the Bowl for the Cure. All right, so the mood here at the Women's Championship is very light. These ladies having a great time. And Tish educating the rookie, Melissa Riccardi, on some bowling terminology and sign language. We've certainly seen our share of sign language on Bowl TV in recent broadcasts. All right, so the stage is pretty much set here. Tish Johnson needs 250 for a share of the lead here in 2015 and running out of room. So still has 270 out there. But I don't think she's liking that right lane too much. But for those of you tuning in, nearly 200 of you, we do appreciate it, and you could be watching a little more tournament history here. All right, here's Tish on her good lane. Needs 250, still has 270 out there. Mixes them up. A couple dramatic shots for Tish so far today, but she's always the entertainer. All right, just a reminder to all of those of you in the chat room, let's keep it friendly and clean. Unless, of course, you're looking for something else to do on a Saturday afternoon, and you won't be allowed to play with us anymore. So, not that I was pointing that at anybody directly, Charlie, but keep things appropriate for bowling fans of all ages. Another terrific shot. And a Pete Weber-like celebration there by Kalina. All right, Tish Johnson not digging lane 42. She'll shoot another single pin spare. And now she needs every pin the rest of the way. That would give her 250 on the nose and a tie for the lead. All right, here's Tish. She needs them all. And that stubborn 7-pin refuses to cooperate. Been there, done that. Tish will not claim her first Women's Championship title in 2015. Still working on that 700 number that was predicted earlier. That'll get her easily in the top 10. So we're at the tail end here of Jessica Gilgore's live stream debut. Back half of game number 3 of singles, game 6 on the day. And Jessica will earn her live streaming merit badge. All right, so Tish finally conquers the right lane, but a little bit too late for taking the lead here. Still a big number out there. All right, so the home stretch here, and another terrible break for Riccardi this game. She had a 8-10 earlier in singles, and now the 4-9, so a little bit of everything. Of course, McAllister plagued by the 7-10 bug today. The National Bowling Stadium bustling with participants. This noon double and single squad getting done. 4 p.m. team event coming in. Space on the 4 and 7 p.m. for USBC mixed teams. Nice spare pickup there for Kalina. 3-6, 9-10. Never fun. Here's Tish, still got 239 out there. Goes high, leaves the 4-7. Again, taking a look at the diamond single standings, 742 on top. We got a tie, Darius Ruffner and Rochelle Roventini. Third place, Diana Zavialova, 2013 Queens champion, 734. 2015 Queens winner and USBC Hall of Famer Liz Johnson. Quite a year for her here in 2015. She's fourth at 707. And Vivian Q is fifth at 698. So to make the top 10, 679, Missy Parkin.
Thoroughly now distracted. Got some visitors coming to say hi to him, as they usually like to.
Some of those top contenders we talked about heading in today for the 4 p.m. team event. Wisconsiners, Gina Hurst, Rossi Robin, now by way of Mansfield, Texas. Coming in to check out the end of this noon doubles and single squad. Two-time Women's Championships doubles titleist Kalina Henning Shannon. Terrific shot there. Ninth frame for Tish. Looking to finish strong. in the Diamond All-Event standings, again, Tennille Milligan on top of the standings there, 21.69. Solid effort, followed by Liz Johnson, 21.12. Zaviolova, 21.02. Kim Kearney, the USBC Hall of Famer, 4th place, 20.96. And Team USA member Danielle McEwen, 20.79, rounded out the top 5 to make the top 10, 19.38. So Tish well on her way into the top 10. All right, so 10th frame, nice finish there for Dana Borgman, 2.19. And she finishes with a 5.38 series. And we'll take a look at the Emerald Singles standings. And that is just shy of the top 10. Pretty good way to go out, though. Looks like they had an enjoyable time, and now they can go home and watch their performance on Bowl TV. And Julie Harrison finishes with 4.47. She's in Ruby singles. Great shot there by Riccardi, looking to finish out her first Women's Championships appearance with a big 10th frame.
Have quite the crowd gathering behind us, watching the end of singles for the 12 o'clock.
All right, final shot for Kalina. And her 2015 Women's Championships campaign comes to an end. The 5.31 single set. Riccardi wrapping things up, 5.48. But the important thing is, did they have fun? All right, Tish with the double. She can finish with 2.19 here in the finale. If you missed any of today's broadcast, again, you can watch it in the archives later today. If you want to take notes and send Jessica a note about her performance, feel free to do so. Final shot from Tish. We'll have the calculation here in just a moment. She finishes with 700 on the nose. How about that for a guess? That'll get her into the top 10 comfortably. 5th place with 700 even. And a 20-21 all events total. And that is good for 7th place. So that is going to do it for today's broadcast from the USBC Women's Championships in Reno, Nevada. I do appreciate everybody tuning in. For Matt Canizaro and Jessica Gilgore with no E.
Yay.
We had a good time here. We'll be back on the air tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern for USBC Hall of Famer Lucy Sandlin and her team event. But that's going to do it for today's coverage, folks. So that is the news for now. We'll see you on the lanes.